No. I am speed! So IDS Round 2 last weekend. I didn't record an intro, so here we are, lying up in the Kiar the week after. Tricky weekend, a lot of change in weather. Boys had a reasonably good weekend. Got these fancy new microphones all the way from
China.
Because I was chatting to Michael Scullen from Limited Slip Differences on Sunday, and he recommended we do a few more interviews and get a bit of proper audio going. So cheers, Michael. So Rad was up with the Malloys the evening before the event, and yeah, he done a bit of behind the scenes stuff. So I'll hand it over to Rad's dulcet Galway tones.
Let's see what kind of lies they have in store for me today. Probably have a fucking 2J putner or something. Show you some behind the scenes of what goes on the day before a drift day. Most people are spanner checking cars, you know, checking it for oil and that, but Peter, being the OCD man that he is, washing the van. Washing one Sprinter was fucking bad enough.
Yeah, this is my car.
So Peter was driving a very sick S54. He placed third in IDS in Pro 2, and then after he drove Bonnie Blue, he realised that his car was, in his words, very sick. And he brought her to the dyno, and she made a whopping
275.
Yeah. So he took her all apart. Head gasket was delito. And getting it a bit tight then before Bishopscourt, and you asked, could you take Bonnie Blue?
Yeah.
And I said, of course you can. So now Piotr is driving Bonnie Blue in Bishopscourt this weekend. Tiernan has been flat out doing the last few jobs for scrutiny. He's after making a real sexy kind of a panel there and a few other bits and pieces. That is, what's her name? Lily Phillips?
Lily Phillips will do, yeah.
Yeah. So we have two porn stars in the shed. So yeah, I'm expecting big things this weekend. I have a whole new body kit bought for this, so I have told Peter that I don't want one single straight panel on this car come Saturday evening. As long as she's on the podium, which I fully expect her to be. Andrew Malloy's car, unfortunately, not ready for Bishopscourt, but not far off. And this thing would pass as a fucking Driftmasters build, because Andrew has one of the worst cases of OCD I have ever seen in my life. Like, she's just like brand new. All fancy. That looks like some kind of a diff brace or something. I know nothing, as you all know from previous videos. I was the one who thought an S54 swap could be done in a weekend. So, things that go into the prep before a drift weekend. Wash everything in the yard. Fill the van with tyres, spare parts. Oh, sunlight ruining the video there. Bits and pieces. She is such a cool van, boys. She doubles up as a camper. Is it safe? It is. So yeah, real tasty operation in here. It's the absolute perfect drift weekend vehicle. Technologia! Van number 3 that needs washed. These fuckers, Morgan, they're very bad. Is Bonnie Blue on the trailer, ready for Peter Malloy to empty the full load inside her this weekend. And I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't. I want a queue of boys waiting to get inside her. I think I figured out what is wrong with your block.
That is the problem, my friend.
Another fucking van that needed washed. Jesus Christ, boys. Irish van washing series. So, after washing about 17 vans, we are on the way to Bishopscourt. I got the honour of driving the big Sprinter. Absolutely love her, boys. Luxury vehicle. Even the dog knows a good car when he sees it. A quick lap of the camp on Saturday morning. The turkey fighter has arrived. She is one of the fucking coolest cars on the grid. Pete's Daily, just a casual 700 brake. Bonnie Blue, going to be on the podium this weekend. Paul King, very unusual engine choice. It's like a, I'm gonna fuck this up. Is it like an engine out of a 335i E92 or something like that? Had no joy in Mondello, but she seems to be going a lot better this time. And Callum Coogan, fellow M3 owner. So yeah, there's still a few more to come. I think Halfordy, Fred and Mark McKevitt are all pitting in this group of misfits, so it's going to be a good weekend. These fucking Malays, boys, they can do nothing. They're drag racing the two bikes down the hill. Oh, DRS open. Oh, holy ghost, boys.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And can you hear me now? The radio and the phone here at the same time.
No, no work, people.
Ah, no good.
The Shamahans is being used in some way. Huh? Hey, running like a lady.
Job for you next time.
Every fucking day.
We're here with Paul King today ahead of the IDS.
Head chef at King's Inn.
We move along to a man who's a lot more reserved and a lot more controlled at times. It's Callum Coogan in the BMW E36. The Northern Irish man in the Cleary car, sponsored, beautiful red, always in control BMW. Not the most powerful car on the grid by a long shot, but you know what? Callum Coogan knows how to make this car work. He slows it into outer zone 3 there, gets it switched back across nicely for 4, puts foot to floor, and you know, Adam, that's just a banker lap. So Callum Coogan does indeed put a big score on the board, guys. It's 88.7 for Callum Coogan. Big score on the board.
We're pushing on here to our next driver, which is Peter Malloy.
Yeah, from
in his E46, pushing around. Lovely initiation there and through outer zone 1. The SD Aero sponsored E46 coming around here for outer zone 2. Nice and deep into it, Mike. The blue colours looking stunning. Clipping zone 3 really close to that wall. He's coming up here for the final outer zone 4. Deep inside it. Or actually not as deep as I thought, Mike. Is only a bit shallow there as he came out towards the end, but not a bad run at all.
Peter Malloy, as we find his score here, is in 12th position with an 84.7.
So my name's Eddie Power. You may or may not know me from commentating and driving at the Irish Drift Series. This is my trusty 180SX, which I was due to drive at round 2 of the Irish Drift Series, but unfortunately alternator problems put a stop to that. Despite all our efforts and all the team's effort, we just couldn't get the car going. However, we did manage to get out for 2 qualifying runs, thanks to the legends that are Peter Malloy and Donald Burke. Peter was driving Donald Burke's car, a freshly built E46 M3, and he was using it for competition that weekend. Kindly offered it to me as well, for a chance to double drive it and see if both of us could qualify in it, which obviously put his own championship in jeopardy, as I was going to be first out. So it was quite a brave suggestion and offer from Peter. But obviously we had to run it past Donald Burke, who owned the car, and obviously me and Donald were good friends off behind the scenes. Thankfully he was more than happy to agree to it, and incredible car that the two guys built. It was obviously set up seating position wise for a bigger man than I am, so that was a bit of a challenge, and on the first run I was falling out of the seat while we were trying to get around the track, but we made it work, and despite not getting any decent scores on the board, we showed that maybe with an extra couple of laps we probably might have managed some sort of a reasonable score. But here's a quick look at the qualifying runs that I put in, and once again huge thank you to the two guys for trusting me with the car at the weekend.
And Dodd Burkett is saying to me that Red Don, show your beautiful face here. Come in here. The camera's there.
Right there in front of you.
So Red Don, let's just show the viewers at home. So this is what Don is showing us right now. So hang on until I get it back on. So Eddie Power is driving a borrowed car from Peter Malloy, who is driving my car, and that's from Red Don Burkett.
I like how you signed it off.
Eddie Power is driving Peter Malloy's car, and Peter Malloy is driving your car. Correct. Peter is driving your car, and Eddie is driving
Also my car.
Oh, also your car. Okay.
Pete put the engine in my car 2 weeks ago as a surprise.
Yes.
Then found out his car was sick. No, they don't want to see me. They want to look at you. So then Pete asked, could he drive my car? And I said, of course. So then Eddie asked Peter, could he drive his car? And Pete said, of course, on my behalf.
Okay, well, I've no idea what's happening. Eddie Power in a borrowed E46 BMW. He started his drift career in an E46 practice car. He got the 180SX for competition. He's not driven this car before. He's not driven this track. He went wide on the first lap. He's after going too tight on the second one, and that might be all she wrote for Eddie with a field of 56 or 7 drivers to get through. Is it going to be enough, Adam? I don't know.
I'm not too sure, Mike. I'm not too sure. As we said, he did not have any practice. He didn't have anything like that because he had issues with his own car. So this is his only second time ever running this track. He didn't get any chance to practice in his car. He's in now, second time ever driving this car.
What doing?
Oh no! Broken! Not good! Yeta!
Oh, this is putting the arm up. Leave the barbecue, let Fred.
Certainly looking for these only the wings. Really on the door now. Doesn't get a put in back. And he's quite the other door next to
No, just out, napping about, you know.
What's that?
The chicken stack was very nice,
Yeah.
but the peppercorn sauce was only
It
middling.
wasn't bad. Maybe skinny chips instead of the chunky.
Yeah. What did you think of the onion rings?
Not for me.
No. No.
I didn't like them after six onion rings. They're about second. Like
Yeah.
Chewy.
Yeah. And you know the worst to it? Fucking
No good.
chef was a creepy wee bastard.
Now you're on your turkey.
Hear what them was after stage 2, a bit of an off there, Dylan. What happened?
Hey, look, we put the knee down and the pedal copper away over.
Fuck me.
But this is a two-tone as well. Stephen Halford sliding the BMW, the big BMW, in fact, the E36 Touring into our first hours on there. And very much a guy to watch. Keep an eye on this guy, ladies and gents, because he is one of the best drivers in Ireland, that is for sure. And now has the power to back up the talent, and he's doing a very, very good job here in the wet conditions. And he looks like he's been practicing in the wet. Maybe could have been a tiny bit wider there on keeping point 3. Gets the car rotated, could be definitely a lot wider in 4. Straight up to that point, but Halford just leaving a few points on the board at the end.
Yeah, as I said, really difficult. He's going to rely probably on that 84. Definitely, I would say Ireland's best ginger drifter.
Well, you said that she needed more aggression, Eddie, in the past. There's your aggression. Yeah, she didn't leave it on the. She didn't leave it on the line.
Sometimes you got to find the limits. Trying to do that in the pro
that. Round 2 in the books. What do you think of that? Don't really know. Probably a bit long. What do you want to see? I don't really know. We're just sort of videoing what we do and throwing it out there and seeing what everybody thinks. Do you want to see more of the behind the scenes stuff? Do you want to see more onboards? Do you want to maybe try and get the lads mic'd up in the car? Now we've got these fancy microphones. Just during battles and stuff. Maybe try find a way to record the radio transmissions. Just something a bit different. But yeah, any and all feedback is appreciated. If you thought it was pure dung, tell me, and I'll not eat the head off you. And if you enjoyed the video, sure, let us know. Till the next one.